have that much of importance in your 12th standard. So shall we start with the session with the new year first day? Yeah. So yes, me, yeah, Saturday la. Yeah, Saturday la evening la, I'm going to send you paper on redox reaction and chemistry in everyday life. Got it?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Yeah. So तो पेपर मी पाठवणार आहे. मला रेडॉक्स रिएक्शन मध्ये थोडंसं अजून बघायचं की तुम्हाला ते व्यवस्थित बॅलन्सिंग जमतं की नाही. दॅट इज इम्पॉर्टंट पार्ट टू मी. द रेस्ट ऑफ द थिंग्स आर इझी. So let's coming back to the work. We are doing the lesson adsorption and colloids. See, we have done adsorption in this lesson. So what is the takeaway of adsorption? See, adsorption is different from absorption because absorption is a surface, the absorption is a bulk phenomenon, whereas adsorption is a surface phenomenon where only the surface, because of the tension, surface tension, the mainly the gases gets absorbed on that medium of solid or the one which gets absorbed are called as adsorbent, and the surface on which it gets absorbed is called as adsorbent. So after understanding the term of adsorption, then we have seen day-to-day life where the adsorption takes place. Then we have also seen the two types of adsorption, which is physioabsorption and chemioabsorption, where only the physical state changes, no chemical bond, takes place, where the chemioabsorption leads to the formation of a new compound. After that, we have seen the factors on which this takes place, like the factors on which this adsorption takes place, where the nature of the adsorbate or the surface area of adsorbent, temperature, pressure, that part we have seen. After that, we have seen the applications of this adsorption where we can use in the catalytic process or when we can use to control the humidity to create the vacuum. So all these applications we have seen. Then the catalysis we don't have, that is a homolysis and heterolysis. We have mainly seen the adsorption phenomenon in preparation of many gases where the reactants are also gases and the product is also gases. Like for example, N2 plus H2 forming ammonia. This ammonia formation would not have take place if we don't use the catalyst, that is a finely divided ion. Finely divided creates more of the surface area in which this adsorption takes place. And see, this is the main use of adsorption which is done in the preparation of ammonia, which is an important, you can say, a raw material in the fertilizer industry to form urea. So all these adsorption parts, the phenomenon, the types, the rate or the factors on which it affects and applications we have seen. Hey, कळलंय का? Tanvi, Yash, Ishan, Varun, Omkar.
हो मॅम.
नीट कळलंय? सो आता ना आपण इझियर पार्ट कडे जाऊया, विच इज कोलॉइड्स. ऍज आय सेड, लेसन्स खूप इझी आहेत. फार वेटेज नाहीये, म्हणजे ह्याचा ऑनेस्टली स्पीकिंग माझ्या 12th स्टँडर्डशी काही रिलेशन नाहीये. सिंपल थिअरी लेसन्स, दीज आर द एक्सटेन्शन ऑफ सम पार्ट्स वेअर प्रॅक्टिकल ऍप्लिकेशन. हे आपल्याला का दिलेलं आहे? बिकॉज याचा उद्या इंडस्ट्रीमध्ये प्रॅक्टिकल ऍप्लिकेशन होतं, where the phenomenon is the chemistry related, but actually it's not a bulk phenomenon, it's an adsorption phenomenon. Yeah. So the next part is colloid. Now colloids, it's something what we have learned in our school level. So मी जेव्हा colloids चा विचार करते तेव्हा in our school level we have done the classification of matter. आपण मॅटरला दोन कॅटेगरी मध्ये क्लासिफाय करू शकतो. वन इज द प्युअर सबस्टन्स अँड अदर इज द मिक्सचर. When I said the pure substance, I mean to say that pure substance divided into elements and compounds, which I have explained you last time, where the elements consist of only one kind of the naturally occurring particles. Metals, non-metals, and metalloids are the elements. Compounds, why they comes in the category of the pure substance? Because even if they contain more than one type of matter, more than one type of element, whatever the elements or the atoms of that elements which are present in that compound, they are in fixed proportion. So that stands the purity of the compound. So elements and compounds comes in the category of pure substances. But when we are talking about mixtures, see, mixtures are when we are just mixing one or more elements in any haphazard proportion. So as compared to compound, in mixtures, they don't have a fixed proportion. Bhed, alloy where you can change the substituent, constituent element, but the properties will remain same. मी कितीही variable change केले तरी individual constituent properties are been retained. So that is a simple mixture. So this is very easy part. So mixtures मला कळले. Like we have seen so many mixtures type solid in solid is alloy, solid in liquid is salt water, solid in gas is dust particle in air, liquid in solid is, you can say, mercury in gold. Mercury in gold is that I can say the liquid, the one which is in smaller quantity, and the other one is in larger quantity, which is an amalgam. Liquid in liquid is an alcohol in water. Liquid in gas, I can say the liquid in gas will be the water droplets present in the air. Gas in solid will be the sponge. Gas in liquid will be the aerated drink, and gas in gas is the air. So these are my understanding about mixture. So in that mixture, in our school level, we have also seen there is two types of mixture. The one type is a homogeneous mixture and the other type homogeneous mixture. See, homogeneous mixture is that type of mixture which we call as a solution, true solution, where solute is in minute quantity, solvent is in major quantity, and that solute is completely miscible or completely soluble in that solvent to form a true solution, like salt in water, sugar in water, alcohol in water, carbon dioxide in water under pressure. So all these are the examples of solution. So तो जो solute असतो ना, तो that solution appears to be a transparent. You will not get to know that ते water आहे का त्याच्यामध्ये मी काही add केलेलं आहे. So that solution is appear to be a transparent. The size of the solute, the size of the particle which you are added in bulk of the solvent, it is in, so like it's in minute quantity, less than 0.1 nanometer इतक्या size चे particles असतात. So we with the naked eye. So then we have studied the properties of solute. Why I'm telling you this? Because we are going to compare with the colloids. That's why let's understand this mixture ka classification, and then let's move to the colloids, which is a kind of a mixture. So after that, we have seen that what are the properties of solution. We have seen the size of the particle is too small. They do not undergo filtration. Me filter paper work like I cannot get anything on that filter paper because the size of the particles, the solute is too small than the size of that, filter paper ke jo atoms. So they will easily pass through the solution. They will not undergo the scattering of light. They do not show Tyndall effect because the size of the particle is too small to scatter the light. So to separate them, you have to apply some special methods like evaporation. Now this is my understanding about homogeneous mixture. Now the second part, which is a heterogeneous mixture. Heterogeneous mixture is something completely opposite to homogeneous mixture. Now that heterogeneous mixture is further divided into suspension and colloids. Now this colloids is the one which I am more interested in. Suspension, simple example देते म्हणजे तुम्हाला लगेच कळेल. It's sand in water, oil in water. These are the simple examples of suspension where the size of the particle is too small to be seen with the naked eye. They do not completely, they are unstable because they do not form a complete, they are not soluble, so they are not forming a complete solution. Nine. So this is suspension. But what is colloid? See, colloid is definitely a kind of a heterogeneous mixture. So what is my background knowledge? So ते colloids बघायचे. साध्या सोप्या meaning मध्ये जर मला colloids परत higher grades ला we are studying, that means just in the industry, we have lots and lots of application of this colloids. Got it? So for us, the colloid is a kind of a mixture. It is a kind of a heterogeneous mixture where, unlike, it's completely different from that of the homogeneous mixture. So what we have learned in heterogeneous mixture, see, there are two types of heterogeneous mixture. The one is a suspension, which I can easily make out what kind of the particles are present in that solvent material, bulk material, and the colloids are a kind of a heterogeneous mixture. Now, to give you an idea, the example of colloids, so you can definitely relate what I'm saying. See, colloids, the example is milk, ink, blood. So all these are the example of colloids where मिल्क मध्ये मला सल्यूट जस्ट लाईक मी सँड इन वॉटर मध्ये मला कशी सँड दिसते तसे मिल्क मध्ये मला काही दिसतं का मिल्कचे पार्टिकल मला पनीर बनवायचं असेल तर आय हॅव टू ऍड समथिंग आय हॅव टू चेंज द पीएच ऑफ दॅट मिल्क देन ओनली आय कॅन फॉर्म द पनीर फ्रॉम इट विथ द सेपरेशन ऑफ द वे टेक्स प्लेस फ्रॉम दॅट या बट डेफिनेटली that milk chi you can say the viscosity definitely it's more than that of the salt in water or sugar in water. So colloid appears to be a it appears to be a homogeneous mixture where we cannot see that solute particles with the naked eye. But if you look at the size of the particles of the colloidal particles, definitely it is more than that of the solution. So the solution size of the particles are in 0.1 nanometer. These are between 1 nanometer to 200 nanometer. Whereas in suspension, it's better. It's so big that we can see with the naked eye. So colloids appear to be a homogeneous mixture, but actually they are heterogeneous mixture where the particles are uniformly mixed throughout the solution. Like sand in water मध्ये sand unstable आहे, so ती खाली deposits होऊन बसते. ऑइल वरती जातं कधी कधी कारण त्याची डेन्सिटी लो आहे. बट कोलॉइड्स मध्ये the particles are uniformly mixed throughout the solution, so they are stable. Secondly, you cannot separate them by the simple filtration method the way you can separate the sand from water by the simple filtration method. The colloidal particles you cannot separate because definitely the size of the particles of that milk or ink is lesser, smaller than that, filter paper ka jo hai. So they aram se, they can pass through that, they will come in that filtrate. The most important property is scattering the light. See, dust particles in air. उन्हाची तिरीप बघितली की मला dust particles दिसतात. Can you see the dust particle right now? Not possible. But when एक तिरीप पडली की ते आपल्याला dust particle दिसतात because the scattering of the light takes place. But when the beam of the light falls on them, they scattered it. So that's called as a Tyndall effect. अजून एक important property आहे ना, हे जे colloidal mixtures मी add केले ना, तर मी I can, they are, good conductor of electricity. By adding the colloidal particles in any of the solution, they conduct the electricity, which we call as a electrophoresis. So, ज्या phenomenon मधनं मी ते separation करू शकते by passing the electric current. So, this is my knowledge of colloid. Plus, colloids मध्ये मी solute solvent ही term नाही use करत. We never use the term like solute and solvent the way we used in solution or suspension. We use the term disperse phase and dispersion medium. So the medium is like a solvent which is in bulker quantity and the phase is in the smaller quantities. Like for example, if I'm talking about ink, that color ink, like if it's a blue ink, then the blue color that you can say disperse phase, and the water is a dispersion medium. It's not compulsory that every time the water will be the dispersion medium. If you look at the tincture iodine, see tincture iodine basically तुम्ही स्कूल मध्ये वगैरे बघितलेलं असाल, पडलं काहीतरी तर ते असे एक व्हायलेट कलरचं काहीतरी औषध लावायचे पायाला किंवा कुठेही, that tincture iodine where the iodine which is a dispersed media, dispersed phase is dissolved in alcohol. Just we have seen chemistry in everyday life मध्ये आपण tincture iodine ची antibacterial property discuss केली होती. So these are the example of colloids. So this is the one आपल्याला आपल्या syllabus मध्ये त्यांनी बराचसा पार्ट colloidsचा कट केलेला आहे. But आपल्याला mainly we have to understand what is colloid. I think ते तुम्हाला कळलं असेल. समजते का मी काय बोलते ते? यश, ईशान, तन्वी, ओमकार, वरुण, are you understanding what I'm saying? सगळ्यांना कळतंय मी काय बोलते ते? ओमकार, यश,
हो मॅम.
सो आपल्याला आपल्या लेसन मध्ये काय काय करायचंय, आपल्याला कोलॉइड्सचं मिनिंग करायचंय. आफ्टर कोलॉइड्सचं मिनिंग आपल्याला त्याचं क्लासिफिकेशन करायचंय. सो क्लासिफिकेशनला 2-3 क्रायटेरिया आहेत, ज्या क्रायटेरियामध्ये आपण क्लासिफिकेशन करणार आहोत. की फर्स्ट क्लासिफिकेशन की कुठल्या स्टेट मध्ये डिस्पर्स फेज आणि डिस्पर्स मीडियम आहे. That is the classification depending upon the physical state that medium and phase is having. Then the second classification where that dispersed phase has got affinity for that medium. म्हणजे it's lympophobic or lymphophilic, hydrophobic or hydrophilic. Affinity किती आहे दोघांमध्ये. So some properties we are going to learn about the colloids. आणि बाकीचा जरी जो पार्ट आहे ना तरी कट केलेला आहे. Only we have the applications of that part. Got it? So the lesson, this part is very easy. We can arrange this part today. So shall we start? Let's have the question book by like the textbook in front of you, pen paper in front of you, and let's start with the colloids. आहे समोर टेक्स्टबुक?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, my internet connection is little unstable. So yeah, so colloid, quickly I'll just read the part. Colloids, a number of substances we use in our day-to-day life are colloids. For example, milk, butter, jelly, whipped cream, mayonnaise, sauce. Colloidal chemistry is the chemistry of everyday life. Knowledge of colloidal chemistry is essential for understanding many useful materials like cement, bricks, pottery, porcelain, enamels, oils, liquids, rubber, celluloids, and other plastics, leather, paper, textiles. Look at the area where these colloidal solutions are present. So in many daily processes like cooking, washing, dyeing, painting, or flotation, water purification, sewage disposal, smoke prevention, photography, pharmacy, these colloids comes in the picture. So these colloids are practically present in all fields. Now, coming back, now after understanding the importance, colloids are heterogeneous mixture, completely understood the part. The component of the colloid present in the largest proportion is the dispersion medium. The medium is like solvent, and the dispersed phase is like a solute. And the other component is called as a dispersed phase. The particles of the dispersed phase are larger than the size of the molecule and smaller than the particles which we can see with the naked eye. म्हणजे the particles dispersed phase are smaller than the suspension and larger than that of the true solution. Observe the formation of a solution of a salt and water. Salt dissolved completely in water forms a homogeneous system. On the other hand, ground coffee or tea leaves with the milk forms suspension. Between the two extremes of suspension and solution, we observe a range of the group of the systems called as a colloidal dispersions or simply colloids. The essential difference between a solution and a colloid is a particle size. Solutions contain solute particles with a diameter in the range of zero point 0.1 to 2 nanometer and the typical ion or the small molecule. Solutions are transparent, may be colored, do not separate on standing, whereas colloids such as milk, fog contains the particles of the dispersed phase with the diameter is between 2 to 500 nanometer. They are translucent. So solution transparent, this is translucent. They are they are like they do not separate on standing. They are translucent and do not separate. So colloids also do not separate on standing, so it's very easier part. Now let's see the day-to-day life example of the colloids. Blue color of the sky. So the sky appears blue to us because minute dust particles along with the minute water droplets disperse in air scatter. So the scattering phenomenon takes place over there, and because of the dust particles which are present in that minute water droplets, they this air scattered kartat, and in the blue light they scatter the blue light which reaches to our eye. Blood, it's a colloidal dispersion of the plasma proteins and antibodies. We know the blood composition where it is 60% blood plasma and 40% blood corpuscles. The 60% plasma consists of 90% water. So again, the blood is an example. Soil, the colloidal in nature, where the humus acts as a protective colloid. So because that colloid मध्ये ना water retention property आहे, soil absorb moisture and nourishing material due to its colloidal nature. Fog, mist, rain. So mist is caused by the small droplets of water dispersed in air. Fog is formed whenever there is a temperature difference between the ground and the air. Um, a large portion of air containing the dust particle gets cooled below its dew point. The moisture from that air condenses to form the fine droplets, which we call as a fog or mist. So these are the day-to-day examples of colloidal particle. So it's actually how easy part hai. So that we do get to know. Now let's go directly to the classification of colloids. First classification is based on physical state. So हे जे दोन टेबल आहेत ना ते मला important आहेत. So my table 11.4 explains me about the classification of colloids depending upon the physical disperse phase and the dispersion medium. So types of the colloids based on the physical state. Look, ही नावं I think you have done. CBSE आपल्याला तर होती school level ला. So disperse phase, dispersion medium, solid in solid, type of the colloid, solid sol. ह्याच्यातली नावं लक्षात ठेवायला लागतील तुम्हाला. You have to remember the type of the colloid. Example, solid in solid, solid sol, colored glasses, gemstones, porcelain, paper. Solid in liquid, where the solid is a dispersed phase and the medium is liquid, sols and gels, paints, cell fluids, gelatin, muddy water, starch solution, all are the examples of. So मला मी जर स्टुडंट असते तर मी प्रत्येकाची दोन दोन एक्झाम्पल करून गेले असते. So solid in liquid, sol and gel. Solid in gas, aerosol, smoke, dust example. Now the liquid is in and the dispersion medium is in larger quantities. So liquid in solid, gel, cheese, butter, jellies, where dispersed phase is liquid and the dispersion medium is solid. Liquid in liquid, emulsion, milk and hair cream. Liquid in gas, liquid in gas, aerosol. Solid in gas is also aerosol, liquid in gas is also aerosol. Fog, mist, clouds, hairsprays, insecticide sprays, all are emulsion. Liquid in gas. Gas in solid, gas in solid, solid sol, pumicestone, foam rubber, plaster. So pumicestone वगैरे basically काही काही लोक वापरतात तुम्हाला माहितीये वॉशिंग पर्पज साठी वगैरे. that is that part. Foam rubber, plastic foam rubber ni basically scratch work करायला करतात to remove the dust of the skin. Liquid, foam, froth, whipped cream, soap lather, all are the examples of disperse phase and dispersion medium and the type of the colloid. So it's an example. You want to pen down? Quickly pen down the first classification of colloid, where the name and just write down the two example. That is the first classification of colloid. Done. Done. So let's begin. So after understanding the colloids, then we have seen what are the criteria of to be a colloid, day-to-day nature-made examples of the colloid. Then now we are dealing with the classification of colloid, where we have seen the first classification of colloid depending upon the physical state of that dispersion medium and dispersed phase. Now let's go with the second classification, where how much affinity is present between that both components of the colloids, that is the dispersed phase and the dispersion medium. Okay. Now the second classification is of colloids, which is based on the interaction or affinity of the colloids, because it's not like a true solution where they have the maximum affinity. So there are some colloids which are having the maximum affinity between the dispersed phase and the medium, and there are some colloids where they don't have that much of affinity. So that's the second classification. On the basis of interaction or affinity of the phases, a colloidal classified as lyophilic and lyophobic. Philic is loving. Lyo means that liquid. The liquid, that medium, the medium can be liquid or any can be any component. So if for that that dispersed phase is having affinity for the medium, it's loving the medium, it's philic. It's not loving the medium, hating, it's phobic. So lyophobic and lyophilic. If water is the dispersion medium, then that lyophobic called as hydrophobic, lyophilic is called as hydrophilic. If the water is a dispersion medium, then the term used hydrophilic and hydrophobic are used. Now, what is lyophilic colloids? Like table 11.5, they have directly given you the difference, but let's see what is in detail. Lyophilic colloids. Lyo means liquid and philic means loving. A colloidal solution in which the dispersed phase have a great affinity. The dispersed phase, when it is having great affinity for the medium, they are lyophilic colloids. If the lyophilic soul is evaporated and the dispersed phase separate, but against on remix the medium, so मी त्या lyophilic mediumच्या सोल मध्ये मी काय केलं, त्याला जर evaporate केलं, तो जो phase आहे ना, that dispersed phase will just condense, it will just go away. But again by condensation, it will आराम से fall down and it will form the colloidal solution. So थोडक्यात ही जी phase आहे ना, separation and addition, it's easily achievable because of the high affinity of that medium and the phase. So this is like a reversible process. This is like a reversible process. But that is fine. But if it's remixed with the medium, the soul will form again. That is why such souls are called as a reversible souls. They are stable and difficult to, I cannot separate them, I cannot coagulate them. They are because they have high affinity with that medium. Now, opposite to it, it's a lyophobic colloids. Colloidal solution in which the particles of the dispersed phase have no affinity for the medium. That is lyophobic colloids. Phobic means fearing. So एका पॉइंटला ते कोलॉइडल फॉर्म मध्ये असतात. तर पण मी जर एक्सेस ऍड केलं, काय एक्सेस ऍड केलं, दॅट डिस्पोज फेज मध्ये मी जास्त डिस्पोज फेज ऍड करत गेली, एका पॉइंटला ते प्रेसिपिटेशन फॉर्म मध्ये जातं बिकॉज ऑफ द अनस्टेबिलिटी. So the phobic means fearing, hence the liquidating. The common examples are silver, gold, hydroxide like aluminum hydroxide, FeOH thrice, metal sulfides. Like तुम्हाला माहिती आहे जनरली जे बेसेस असतात ना, they are not all bases are alkalis like sodium hydroxide and potassium hydroxide. So mainly बाकीचे जे सगळे आहेत aluminum precipitate out. They precipitate out by adding any reagent. So थोडक्यामध्ये यांची जी स्टेबिलिटी असते लायोफोबिक ची कमी असते because they have less affinity. If you add that phase in the larger quantity, easily coagulation takes place, easily separation takes place, and once the separation takes place ना, मग मला त्यांना परत रिव्हर्सिबल त्या लायोफिलिक सारखं परत त्यांना मला colloidal form मध्ये आणता येत नाही. Once they become like a suspension, it's difficult to bring back them in the colloidal solution. समजतंय मी काय म्हणते ते? Are you understanding? Are you understanding? कळतंय? So let's see the difference lyophilic and lyophobic. Lyophilic form easily by direct mixing. मी directly mixing करून form करू शकते. Form only by the special methods. आता तुम्ही बघा ना oil in water. Oil in water ला आपण froth flotation करताना बेस काही methods apply करायला लागतात. That means you have to apply high pressure, temperature. There are some external parameters have been applied to mix them together to form a colloidal solution. That is lyophobic. Reversible, like मी त्यातला जरी एक component separate केला तरी परत I can easily add the second component to form that colloidal solution, which is not possible with the lyophobic. It's irreversible. The particles are not easily visible even in the ultra microscopic form. The particles are so like तुम्ही ink बघा. Ink is the best example. Ink मध्ये can you see that ink particles? It's not possible na, because the affinity is very high. So the size of the particles is much smaller nanometer as compared to the lyophobic colloids. So the particles are not easily visible under the ultra microscope. The particles are easily detected under the microscope. They are self-stabilized. Like self-stabilized means you don't have to apply to the system to get them dissolved to form a solution. They themselves will self-stabilize it because of the affinity. They are unstable and hence require traces of stabilizer. So you have to add some stabilizer to it. You can't say stabilizer add karayla lagto, conditions apply karayla lagtat. Addition of large amount of electrolytes causes precipitation or coagulation. So याच्यामध्ये इतकी affinity आहे ना की मला खूप जास्त इलेक्ट्रोलाइट आल्यावर मी त्याचं कोॲग्युलेशन करू शकते. लाईक ब्लड मधनं मी त्याला खूप हाय केलं तर त्याचं कोॲग्युलेशन करू शकते. पण इथे मी जरी स्मॉलर क्वांटिटी जरी ऍड केली ना तरी आय कॅन आराम से डू द कोॲग्युलेशन और प्रेसिपिटेशन बिकॉज ऑफ द लीस्ट एफिनिटी. Viscosity is much higher than that of the viscosity of the dispersed phase is much higher than that of the dispersion medium. And viscosity is nearly same. Ata one of the criteria why the affinity and why they are not showing more affinity is because of the difference in their viscosity. So if you compare with the blood particles or if you compare with the milk particles, the viscosity is much higher in lymphophilic as compared to the dispersion medium. It is equal. So because of that equal, to make them together, it's little difficult. So surface tension is lower and the surface tension is high. It's nearly the same. याच्यामध्ये surface tension of dispersed phase is lower than that of the medium. So they easily soluble. They easily mixed होतात. याच्यामध्ये surface tension nearly same असतं. So nearly same असल्यामुळे जे van der Waals force of attraction असतं ना, that is not that strong. Clear? You have to remember any 4 points for 2 marks difference between the lymphophilic and lymphophobic. Are you understanding? So I think it's there in the book, so you no need to write down right now. So hey, kaltay ka? Yash, Omkar, Tanvi, Ishan.
Oh, ma'am.
So after doing, we have done the 2 classifications. After understanding colloids, we have done the classification depending upon the state in which they are present. We have done the second classification depending upon the affinity between the medium and the phase. If it's more philic, less phobic. Now let's go to the third classification. Just turn the page. The classification of the colloids based on the molecular size. See, colloids can be classified into three types in accordance with the size of their molecules. Size मध्ये molecules कुठल्या size आहेत त्या colloidal medium मध्ये multimolecular, macromolecular, and associated colloids or the forming the soap solution micelle. Got it? Where the two are having completely opposite property wale end. See, multimolecular, that means they are very smaller. So if that colloid, the size of the particles or the molecule is too small, it's called as multimolecular molecule, or many are present. The individual particles consist of an aggregate of atoms or small molecules. So size choti ahe, number khub jasta ahe, that the size is less than 10 raised to 3 picometer. Picometer is the least. Nanometer is 1 nanometer is equal to 1000 picometer. So when the size of the particle is too small, the number is high, it is multimolecular gold sol. So consist of the particles of the various size having several gold atoms. So gold sol madhe, it is an example, very small gold atoms present in that sol. Solution, colloidal solution in these particles are held together by van der Waals force of attraction, which is called as a multimolecular colloid or acid sulfur molecule. So the atomicity of the sulfur molecule is 8. So 8 atoms of the sulfur are bonded together in that crown shaped structure. So the crown shape मध्ये ते जेव्हा bonded असतात by van der Waals force of attraction, they forms a colloidal solution which is multimolecular when the size of the particle is smaller but more in number. That is multimolecular. आता ह्याच्या opposite, when the size of the particle is bigger, it is macromolecular. So what is the example? मला ना या colloids मध्ये सगळ्याचे examples करायला पाहिजेत. Like for me, the important part, हर एक का example. Multimolecular colloid का example, gold sol. Macromolecular colloid का example. The molecules of the dispersed phase are sufficiently large in size. So starch, सगळे ते ना ते असे आपण ज्याला म्हणतो ना आपण they will appear to be a translucent. ते translucent दिसतील लिक्विड मध्ये. Starch बघा ना असं कसं turbid solution दिसतं. Macromolecular, the size of the particle is too big. Starch, cellulose, proteins, polythene, nylon, plastic. All these are the macromolecular colloids. They have been present. So multimolecular small चं example कळलं, macromolecular कळलं. Association colloids like a micelle where that colloid is having the two opposite ends. Soap is the best example. We have done the soap activity in chemistry in everyday life. The substances behave as a normal electrolytes at the low concentration associated in high concentration forming a colloidal solution. म्हणजे मी थोडंसं, मी खूप पाणी घेतलं आणि थोडंसं सोप टाकलं ना तर मला काही असं transparent solution as well. But if I adding more of that soap, then you will see how that transparent liquid changes to translucent. So look, the hydrophilic and the hydrophobic end. So they have the two ends. So the end hydrophilic end, which is, what is soap? It's a sodium or potassium salt of fatty acid. So the sodium loving water, and the other end, which is a fatty acid end, it is hydrophobic, hating water, insoluble in water. So जे बाहेरचे जे blue color चे जे आहेत ना, the sodium वाला end, that loving water, so that holds the water as a medium, and the other end, which is the in which that मध्ये ना ती dust particle, ती dirt, basically ते जो other end आहे fatty acid त्याच्यात dissolved होते. So for removing the dirt, we are making use of the water medium by using that hydrophilic end, which is sodium and potassium salt. So this is a simple example. So colloids मध्ये आपण 3 properties, characteristics आपण बघितल्या classification मध्ये. मी colloids classification कुठल्या state मध्ये medium आणि phase आहे, solid आहे, liquid आहे त्याच्यावर करू शकते. Second मध्ये affinity किती आहे, less affinity phobic, more affinity philic. And the third, depending upon the size of the particles, if it's very small like gold sol, then having the attraction. It's macro, where the size of the particles is much big, like cellulose, starch, protein molecules. And then the associated colloids or micelles, where that colloidal solution is having the two opposite ends, and the one end is hydrophilic and the other end is hydrophobic. Done with the classification. So आतापर्यंत colloid मध्ये आपण फक्त colloid काय ते बघितलं, general properties of colloids discuss केल्या, day to day life events बघितले जिथे we can see the colloids, we have seen the classification. Now you don't have preparation of colloid for your exam. So 11.9.3 not there, 11.9.4 not there. तुम्हाला colloids the preparation you don't have. So let's directly start with the 11.9. Like how chemically they have been formed, not done. So directly start with the properties of colloids. So we have generally आत्ताच आपण बघितलं ना की they cannot be separated by using filtration, they scattered the light. So all these properties. So what are the general properties? They are heterogeneous, consist of two phases, disperse phase, dispersion medium. So the dispersed phase is the particles pass through the parchment paper or animal membrane but readily pass through the filter paper. जर मी semi-permeable membrane थोडीशी वापरली, where the size of the particles are big enough, then they can trap. Then that colloidal particle can easily pass. पण जर the छोटे असतील, then they will trap the colloidal particle depending upon which membrane I'm using. The particles are not usually detected by the powerful microscope if they are in nanometer. Optical property. So optical property is nothing but the Tyndall effect, scattered the light. So they show the Tyndall effect. So Tyndall, the light passes through the true solution, the path light, it can be detected. However, if the light true solution do not show the Tyndall effect, however, if the light passes through the colloidal dispersion, the particles scattered some light in all the directions and the path of the light visible through which the colloidal dispersion becomes visible to observe standing at the right angle to its path. The phenomenon of scattering of light by the colloidal particle and making path of the light visible through the dispersion is called as a Tyndall effect. Just definition lakshat theva. The phenomenon of scattering of light by the colloidal particle and making the path of the light visible through the dispersion is called as a Tyndall effect. The bright cone of the light is called as a Tyndall cone. It's now what are the conditions? Ha question yewu shakto ki what are the conditions to be satisfied to show the Tyndall effect? The first condition, the diameter of the dispersed part is not much smaller than the wavelength of the light used. So to show the Tyndall effect by the colloidal solution or the colloidal particle, the diameter of the dispersed particle is not much smaller than the wavelength of the light used. The wavelength of the light should be, it should be smaller than that particle. The second one, the refractive indices of the dispersed phase and the dispersion medium differ largely. So if these two conditions are being obeyed, then you will get to see the that Tyndall effect. So it is useful in determining the number of the particles. So the importance it is basically from the scattering of light, we can assume, we can determine the number of the particles which are present in that colloidal solution. Not only the number, but also we can determine the size of the particle. And also it is used to differentiate. The second function is to differentiate solution and the true solution. म्हणजे मला दोन सोल्युशन दिलेले आहेत, मला फाइंड आउट करायचं की कुठलं ट्रू सोल्युशन आहे आणि कुठलं कोलॉइडल सोल्युशन आहे. They just scatter the light. If you just do the scattering of the light, the one which shows the Tyndall effect is a colloidal solution and the one which does not is a true solution. So just Tyndall effect, so जरा short note करून जा. The definition of Tyndall effects, the two conditions related with the frequency and the refractive indices and the application part. Done with the Tyndall effect. Let's coming to the color. Color of the colloidal solution depends on the wavelength of the light scattered by the dispersed particle. The color of the colloidal dispersion is also changes with the manner in which observer receives the light. For example, mixture of few drops of milk and the large amount of water appears blue when viewed by the scattered light and red light. थोडंसं मी मिल्क टाकलं, scattered light, the color will be blue, and just transmit झालं light, that the color will be red. Okay, so this is the color, the next property of the colloidal solution, that they show the color. It also depends on the size of the particle. Finest of the gold soul, red in color, whereas increase in size appears to be purple in color. So how the differences take place? Smaller gold soul, it's red. increase, purple. And the kinetic property, see this, they show the Brownian motion. So what is the meaning of Brownian motion? See, it's a haphazard movement of the size of the particles. So त्या matter मध्ये, in that matter, the particles which have been present, they are continuously changing. You know, they all the, even the solids, they are with the minimum kinetic gases which are with the higher, they continuously bombard. So the place. So haphazard movement of the particles is called as a Brownian motion. And what they mean to tell you that this, they show this Brownian motion. The colloidal particles show this zigzag motion of this, in this Brownian motion. The cause of the Brownian motion, constant collision of the particles of the dispersed phase with the fast moving molecules of the dispersion medium. So the particles at na dispersed phase, they continuously colloid hotat with the particles of the dispersion medium. That's the one cause of the Brownian motion. And the second one, dispersed particle, they acquire the kinetic energy from the molecules of the dispersion medium. So this kinetic energy, see, movement is related with the kinetic energy, and they get the kinetic energy from the medium, thereby they showing the Brownian motion. So properties मध्ये आपण काय बघितल्या? Properties मध्ये colloidal solution मध्ये आपण पहिली property बघितली. We don't have electrophoresis. It's a electrical properties आहे ना, that we don't have electrophoresis, we don't have coagulation, we don't have 11.9.6. So पुढचा जो part आहे ना, that we don't have directly have from the emulsion. So आपल्याला एवढ्याच properties आहेत colloidsच्या study करायला. So what are the properties we have to study? First property colloidची, what is the takeaway of the properties of the colloid? They are heterogeneous mixture. They appears to be a homogeneous mixture, but they are actually heterogeneous mixture. They are stable. Second one, they show the Tyndall effect. What are the conditions for the Tyndall effect? That the frequency of that colloidal particle should be smaller than the frequency of the light. And the second one, the refractive indices of the both the medium and the it should be different. Then we have seen the applications of the Tyndall effect, that we can separate them from the true solution. And also the Tyndall effect used to measure the number of the colloidal particle and the size of the colloidal particle. So for me, the Tyndall effect is third property of the colloidal solution, that some of the colloidal solutions or the particles, they show the color, and depending upon if the size changes takes place, then the color changes. Then the Brownian motion, these colloidal particles show the movement with the solution medium in which they have been kept, because of the constant collision of that colloidal particles with the solution. The kinetic energy is, because of that kinetic energy, the movement takes place, and that acquired kinetic energy they get from the medium. So all these are the properties of the colloids. Now directly go with the emulsion wala part. इथपर्यंत कळतंय का? Easy आहे ना हा part?
हो मॅम.
इझी आहेत. सो आपण ऑनलाईन मध्ये थिअरीचे पार्ट हे जे सोपे सोपे आहेत ते आपण कम्प्लीट करू शकतो. सो या सेशन मध्ये आपल्याला समजू शकेल या गोष्टी. सो इमल्शन काय आहे? आपल्याला ना कोलॉइड केल्यावर ना आपल्याला एक इमल्शन घेतलेलं आहे, तरी थोडंसं डिटेल मध्ये स्टडी करायला. सो व्हॉट इज इमल्शन? लिक्विड इन लिक्विड, डिस्पर्स फेज पण लिक्विड आहे आणि मीडियम पण लिक्विड आहे. सो दॅट वी आर गोइंग टू लर्न अबाउट इमल्शन. सो व्हॉट इज इमल्शन? अ कोलॉइडल सिस्टम in which one liquid is dispersed into the another immiscible liquid is called as emulsion. There are liquid-liquid colloidal system in which both the liquids are completely or partially immiscible. They have taken two types. One is oil in water and दूसरा मध्ये water in oil. So oil in water मध्ये the medium is water and the phase is oil. Water in oil मध्ये the medium is oil and the phase is water. So there are two types of emulsion. Emulsion of oil in water. यामध्ये the dispersed phase is oil, medium is water. Example, yes, example काय? What is the example of emulsion type oil in water? Milk, vanishing cream, paint are the example of oil in water. Milk consists of particles of fat, which we call as an oil in water. The second example, now emulsion of water in oil. An emulsion in which the dispersed phase is water and medium is oil is called as emulsion of water in oil. For example, cod liver oil. Cod liver oil consists of particles of water dispersed in the oil. Other example, butter, cream. So just remember the example. Water in oil is butter, cream, or cod liver oil, and oil in water, it's milk. You can say milk or the cream. Got it? Clear? Now the table 11.7 describes between the two types of emulsion, oil in water and water in oil. Please हे जे तर हे जे differences दिलेले आहेत ना, हायड्रोफोबिक, हायड्रोफिलिक, ऑइल इन वॉटर, वॉटर इन ऑइल, ते नीट करून जा. और केमो absorption, physio absorption. So oil is the dispersed phase and water is the dispersion medium. Perfectly easy. Water is a dispersed phase and oil is a dispersion medium. Oil in water मध्ये, if water is added, it will be miscible with the emulsion. त्या मीडियम मध्ये वॉटर टाकलं तर वॉटर इन वॉटर विल बी डेफिनेटली मिसिबल ना. पण याच्यामध्ये ऑइल टाकलं, वॉटर इन ऑइल मध्ये ऑइल टाकलं तर ऑइल परत मिसिबल आहे, कारण मी तोच मीडियम टाकते, तेच टाकते की जे त्याचं मीडियम आहे बल्क क्वांटिटी मध्ये. सो डेफिनेटली वॉटर ऑइल इन वॉटर मध्ये टाकलं तर मिसिबल आहे, ऑइल टाकलं वॉटर इन ऑइल मध्ये तर मिसिबल आहे. And addition of small amount of electrolyte makes the emulsion conducting. So basically आहेत ना, यामध्ये conducting म्हणजे electric, you can say electrophoresis. So that means ना, colloidal particles are large enough to pass the electric current आणि मी त्यांच्यामध्ये separation करू शकते. If more than one type of colloid is been mixed, जर एकापेक्षा त्या वॉटर मध्ये किंवा त्या मीडियम ना, तर मी इलेक्ट्रिक करंट पास करून मी त्यांना सेपरेट आउट करू शकते, बिकॉज दे पॉजेस चार्जेस. सो थोडं ऑइल इन वॉटर मध्ये मी जर इलेक्ट्रोलाइट टाकलं तर दे शो दॅट इलेक्ट्रोफोरेसिस, पासिंग ऑफ द इलेक्ट्रिक करंट. पण वॉटर करंट, वॉटर इज अ पोलार कोव्हॅलंट कंपाऊंड ना. सो बेसिकली का कंडक्शन होतं, आता ऑइल इन वॉटर मध्ये बल्क क्वांटिटी मध्ये वॉटर आहे आणि वॉटर मला माहितीये पोलार कोव्हॅलंट कंपाऊंड आहे, बिकॉज द इलेक्ट्रोनेगेटिव्हिटी डिफरन्स बिटवीन हायड्रोजन अँड ऑक्सिजन इज मच मोर. सो हायड्रोजन फॉर्म्स डेल्टा पॉझिटिव्ह, ऑक्सिजन फॉर्म्स डेल्टा निगेटिव्ह. सो एनी ऑफ द इलेक्ट्रोलाइट आय एम ऍडिंग, लाईक ऍसिड टाकलं, सॉल्ट टाकलं की देन इट विल पास that, you know, it will break the bond between that HOH, forming H plus and OH minus ions, and then the passage of electric current will take place. Now the reason why they show this conducting power, because the medium water, which is a polar covalent compound, but in water in oil, oil is the medium which is in bulk quantity, and oil is simply, oil is carbon, hydrogen, oxygen compounds that are non-polar covalent bonds. So त्यांच्यामधला जो bonding आहे ना, ते non-polar आहे. So you see ना, sugar in water do not pass like electricity, just like that. So oil much quantity मध्ये असल्यामुळे त्यांचं आयोनायझेशन त्या मीडियम मध्ये होत नाही, whereas water bulk medium मधलं असलं तर water मध्ये आयोनायझेशन होतं, which is not happening with the oil. That's why adding small electrolyte in oil in water, conduction of the electric current takes place, but adding small electrolyte in water in oil, conduction does not take place, has no power on the conducting, has no effect on the conducting power. यामध्ये water एक continuous medium आहे, कारण that's a medium, that's a phase, आणि यामध्ये oil आहे. So example, मला example खूप important आहे. So what are the examples of oil in water? Basic metal sulfate, water soluble alkali metal soaps are used as emulsifier, like normal sodium salt of fatty acids, oil in water. Water insoluble soaps such as zinc, aluminium, Fe, alkaline earth metals are used as the emulsifiers. समजता है? Is it clear with you, everyone? Hello,
हो मॅम.
लिहून घेताय का पुढे जाऊ? समजता है? यश, ईशान, ओमकार? So काही लिहायची गरज नाही, it's very easy to understand. Now let's go ahead. Now आपण त्या कोलॉइड मधली एक इमल्शनची प्रॉपर्टी थोडी डिटेलिंग with properties of emulsion. Emulsion can be diluted with any amount of dispersion medium. On the other hand, dispersed liquid when mixed form a separate layer. इमल्शन मध्ये जर वॉटर मीडियम असेल तर त्याच्यामध्ये ते आपण एक इमल्शन कॅन बी डायल्यूट करू शकतो वॉटर ऍड करून. अदरवाइज जर मी उलटा केलं, वॉटर इन ऑइल मध्ये केलं तर ते एक सेपरेट लेअर करतील. The droplets of emulsion are often negatively charged and can be precipitated by electrolytes. So हे generally droplets असतात, ते negatively charged असतात, and we can pass the electric current, and that negatively charged will go to basically anode, positive terminal of the battery. They show Brownian movement, Tyndall effect. The two liquids in emulsion can be separated by heating, freezing, or centrifugation. So थोडक्यामध्ये, what are the properties of emulsion? As same as that of the colloids, that they show Tyndall effect, they show Brownian mode. Thing is that they show electrophoresis because the particles are negatively charged, so they pass the electric current, and you can separate them by heating or freezing or blood ला centrifuge केलं की blood मधले particles आणि वे कसा separate होतो, that is a part. Now the last part of the emulsion, थोडक्यामध्ये colloids मध्ये सगळ्यात important commercially emulsions आहेत, which is liquid in liquid. So the first application of colloids is electrical participation of smoke separate करायला, ते जे smoke जे dust particles आहेत तो separate करायला. Smoke is a colloidal solution of the solid particles of carbon arsenic compound dust in air. When smoke is allowed to pass through chamber containing plate having charged smoke particles, they lose their charge and gets precipitated. So मी त्यांना precipitate करू शकतो. So we can make that completely air smoke free. The particles settle down on the floor of the chamber. The Corel precipitator. Just remember, Cotterell precipitator is a precipitator. It's a chamber where the separation of the smoke takes place from that particular airy part. Purification of drinking water. आपण alum टाकतो. So the alum मध्ये सुद्धा त्या drinking water मधले जे dust particles आहेत ते stick होतात. So purification of drinking water, water which we observe from the natural sources contains colloidal impurities. By addition of alum to this water, colloidal impurities gets coagulated and settle down. That makes water potable. So या colloidal particles आपण separate करायला पहिलं आपण precipitation of the smoke करतो. In that Cotterell precipitator, ड्रिंकिंग वॉटर मध्ये अलम टाकून सेपरेट करू शकतो. मेडिसिन्स तुम्ही बघा ना, आपल्या घरातली सगळी मेडिसिन्स, स्पेसिफिकली तुम्ही जेलुसिल वगैरे बघितलात ना, जे अँटासिड लिक्विड्स आहेत, लिक्विड्स, आय एम टॉकिंग अबाउट लिक्विड्स, आय एम नॉट टॉकिंग अबाउट टॅबलेट. सो तुम्ही मिल्क ऑफ मॅग्नेशिया बघा, असं ना तुम्ही जर ते खूप दिवस ठेवलं ना तर ते तुम्हाला नंतर सांगतात बघा, शेक वेल बिफोर यूज. कारण त्याच्यामध्ये जे कोलॉइडल पार्टिकल्स असतात ना, त्याच्यामुळे जो डेन्सर पार्टिकल्स आहेत ना ते खाली जातात आणि लाइटर लिक्विड वरती राहतात. सो ऑलवेज इट इज बीन रिटन ऑन द मेडिसिन्स, लिक्विड मेडिसिन्स, दॅट शेक वेल बिफोर द यूज. So usually medicines are colloidal in nature. Colloidal medicines are more effective owing to the large surface area, to the volume ratio of the colloidal particle and easy assimilation. So त्यांच्यामध्ये large surface area to the volume असतो. So just shake केलं की ते immediately mixed होतं. Agriol or is a silver sol used in the eye lotion. So eye lotion मध्ये आता ही नॅनो केमिस्ट्री आहे. नेक्स्ट इयर तुम्हाला करायचंय की हे जे नॅनो पार्टिकल्स आहेत ना, नॅनो कोलॉइडल पार्टिकल्स आता प्रत्येक फील्ड मध्ये, म्हणजे कम्प्युटर सोडा, नॅनो केमिस्ट्री इज युटिलाइज्ड इन एव्हरी फील्ड. आता त्यांनी जो सिल्वर सोल म्हटलाय ना, त्यामध्ये नॅनो पार्टिकल्सच्या साईजचे ते सिल्वर पार्टिकल्स असतात आय लोशन मध्ये. आय लोशन मध्ये ते सिल्वर पार्टिकल्स आर इन नॅनो साईज. So silver sol is used in the eye lotion. Just remember the example, milk of magnesia. Milk of magnesia म्हणजे काय? Magnesium hydroxide is an emulsion used for the stomach disorders. Stomach disorders म्हणजे magnesium hydroxide आहे. So base आहे. So तो कोणासाठी वापरतात? Acidity against. So antacid म्हणून milk of magnesia वापरतात. So the two used in the medicines, rubber industry, ज्यामध्ये rubber is been obtained by coagulation of the rubber latex from that rubber tree. So तो rubber obtain करायला त्या rubber latex सेपरेट करतात आणि त्याच्यामध्ये सल्फर टाकतात. सो सल्फर टाकलं की ते वल्कनायझेशन ऑफ रबर होतं, की ते रबर तुम्ही मोटारीच्या टायर मध्ये पण वापरू शकता. यू कॅन यूज द रबर ॲट अ डिफरंट प्लेसेस. क्लिन्झिंग ऍक्शन ऑफ सोप अँड डिटर्जंट्स, अगेन अ कोलॉइड. सोप हा कोलॉइड आहे, त्याचा यूज ग्राफिक प्लेट्स, film, industrial products like paint, ink, synthetic plastics, rubber, graphic lubricants, cement. Cement पण काय आहे? Colloid आहे. So त्याच्यामध्ये जे सिलिका असतं, whatever the parts, that's a simple one. So the colloids are used in medicines. Colloids are used in cement industry. Colloids are used in synthetic fiber industry. Colloids are used for clearing the drinking water. colloids are used to separate the smoke or to make that air, to increase the purity of the air. Lesson is done. So colloids takeaway घेतलं तर मी colloids म्हणजे काय ते बघितलं. How it is a part of a heterogeneous mixture, what is the size of the particle. Then we have seen day to day examples of the colloid. Then we have seen the classification of the colloid depending upon the three criteria. The first criteria, what is dispersed, the size of the, what is dispersed phase and the dispersion medium ka state. Second, we have seen who has got affinity or not having the affinity, philic and phobic. If it's water, hydrophilic, hydrophobic. And third, we have seen depending upon the size of the particles and the number, if they are too small, larger in number, having the van der Waals force of attraction, they are micromolecular or more macromolecular, that is gold sol. And depending upon the associated colloids, where the two different ends of the colloid has got two different properties, like so. After that, after understanding the classification of the colloid, then we have seen actually the properties of the colloids. We don't have preparation for our syllabus. Then we have seen the properties of the colloid. That मध्ये आपण general property बघितल्या, scattering of light, मग त्याच्याचे conditions बघितल्या, what are the conditions, the applications of scattering of the light. Then we have seen what is Brownian motion. Then we have seen the color, and then we have seen the one type of colloid, that is emulsion. That's oil in water, water in oil, and the applications of colloid. Done with the lesson. समजतंय? So overall, just take a review of the lesson. कुठला पार्ट जर काही डाऊट असेल तर मला विचारा. Any doubt? Tanvi, Ishan, Yash, Omkar?
No, ma'am.
Omkar, Yash, Ishan, Tanvi? Tanvi,
No, no doubt.
Omkar, Yash?
नहीं है मैम.
So then let's quickly do the book back MCQ questions and answer in one sentence. So the size of the colloidal particle lies between किती meter? See, 1 meter, like no, 1 nanometer is equal to 10 raised to minus 9 meter. So it will be between 10 raised to minus 9 to 10 raised to and 10 raised to minus 6. So B is the correct option. Gum in water is an example of gum in water is an example of Lyophilic. C is the option. C. In Haber's process, the production of ammonia K2O is used as a promoter. Potassium oxide and molybdenum is used as a promoter. Fruit jam is an example of. Baba, fruit jam kaya hai? Tell me.
Gel.
Very good. It is gel. Very good. So name the type of the absorption in which van der Waals forces are present. Physiabsorption. Van der Waals forces of attraction are present in physiabsorption and ionic is present in chemoabsorption. Name the type of the absorption in where the compound is formed. The compound is formed in chemisorption. Write the equation. The Friedrich absorption theorem आपल्याला नहीं है. Then define the term inhibition, electrophoresis, catalyst, adsorption. See, why students can read blackboard written by chalks? Because the particles of the chalk, because of the adsorption, they are stick to the blackboard. The particles of the chalk stick, they are adsorbed on that blackboard. That's why we use the white chalk. So Leo, okay. So आता खाली तो equation तुम्ही solve करू शकता. Disperse phase and dispersion medium, milk, blood, printing, ink, and what is dispersion medium? Liquid in liquid. So milk मध्ये liquid in liquid आहे. So what is the dispersed phase in milk? Hello everyone, what is dispersed phase in milk? Liquid in liquid. Blood, solid in liquid. Solid, the blood class corpuscle solid in liquid. Printing is also solid in liquid. And fog is water vapor in air, so it's a liquid in gas. It's liquid in gas. Hello everyone, झालं का? ओमकार, वरुण, यश, तन्वी.
झाले मॅम.
ओके. नाउ आता पुढचे जे आहेत सगळे राईट ते नाहीये रूल राईट नोट्स ऑन टिंडॉल इफेक्ट ब्राउनियर मोशन टाइप्स ऑफ इमल्शन ओके तो रूल नाहीये आपल्याला that you can write down electrophoresis drag ते पण नाहीये आपल्याला explain why finely divided substance is more effective as adsorbent because they provide large surface area. So because of the finely divided substances they provide large surface area, and because of the large surface area the adsorption is greater. That's why we use the finely divided substances as an effective adsorbent. Simple hai, just large surface area, greater is the adsorption. Isotherm परत नाही आपल्याला. Aqueous solution of raw sugar when passed over the beds of animal charcoal becomes colorless. Explain. Because the animal charcoal adsorb the coloring matter, because animal charcoal adsorb the coloring matter. आय होप तुम्ही तिथे क्विकली पेन्सिलनी राईट डाऊन करताय, बिकॉज ह्या लेसन मध्ये काहीच नाही आहे, एवढासा लेसन आहे. जस्ट क्विकली आन्सर्स राहतील. Because the animal charcoal adsorb coloring matter. When the beam of light is passed to the colloidal soul, scattering of the light takes place. Mention the factors affecting adsorption of the gases. See the area, the nature of the adsorbent, the surface area, nature of adsorbent, nature of adsorbate, surface area of adsorbate, temperature, pressure, all these factors affect the adsorption of gases and solid. Give 4 uses of adsorption. Catalytic property, आपण बघितलेलं होतं ना, creating the vacuum or reducing the humidity. All these are the 4 uses. The Bedic method nahi hai. We even know, explain the term emulsion. It's liquid in liquid, oil in water, and water in oil, that too. Yeah, because explain why the finely divided substance is more reactant as adsorbent, because they create the large surface area. The half do question don't mark alala na. You are going to write down the same way, that it creates the more surface area for the effective absorption. And in the manufacture of ammonia in the Haber's process, we use finely divided iron, because nitrogen and hydrogen, if they mix together, there is no mixing together takes place. So because of that, they forms adsorption, and then the ammonia takes place. You can give the example. So putsa question nahi hai. Privilege adsorption theorem we don't have. Adsorption, absorption, matlab farak, give one absorption. So that is easy. Absorption, you can say salt in water is completely absorption. Physioption example, that's the surface area. Okay. Yeah. How absorption? Okay. So yeah, how do you find this lesson? Easy hai? Hello everyone.
हो मॅम.
सोपा आहे ना? यश, ओमकार, ईशान, कसा वाटला लेसन? सोपा आहे ना? काही नाही, टिपिकल गिव रिझन क्वेश्चन्स आहेत, टिपिकल क्वेश्चन्स आहेत, सोपे आहेत गोष्टी. Give more importance to Tyndall effect, Brownian motion. Yeah, that's very easy. So मला ना एक डाऊट विचारला होता. ईशान, तुम्हाला एक डाऊट विचारलेला होता स्ट्रक्चर ऑफ ऍटम मधनं, बरोबर आहे? हॅलो ईशान. ईशान, ईशान, तो तुला तो बेसिकली पेज नंबर 41 वरती डाऊट होता ना काहीतरी?
हो.
So you are asking me about the आपण बोहर्स थिअरी, बेसिकली बोहर्स थिअरी मध्ये तो जो तू डाऊट विचारलास ना, you are not understanding that C part of the results of the Bohr's theory on the page number 41. Ishan, see, we have seen the emission spectrum. See, first of all, Bohr's theory in determining the structure of atom is only applicable to hydrogen atom, where they have the 1 electron in their outermost shell. So it's only applicable to hydrogen like species. म्हणजे हिलियम मधनं एक इलेक्ट्रॉन गेला, जेव्हा आउटरमोस्ट शेल मध्ये एकच इलेक्ट्रॉन असेल, त्या सगळ्या स्पीसीजना बोर्स थिअरी ऍप्लिकेबल आहे. अँड टू स्टडी द स्ट्रक्चर ऑफ ॲटम, to study the position of the electron, basically to explain the you can say the dual nature of the electron, Bohr has used the emission spectrum of the 5 series. ती जी सगळी सिरीज आहे ना, ती बघितली. आता त्याच्यामधनं ना बोहरच्या पॉस्ट्युलेट्स मधनं आपण काय बघितलं? बिकॉज ऑफ द बोहर, ही हॅज एक्सप्लेन दॅट द इलेक्ट्रॉन्स आर प्रेझेंट इन द आउटर एक्स्ट्रा न्यूक्लियर region, and they are associated with a certain kinetic energy, and that is a stationary energy. And when they get excited, when they get the external energy, the electrons move from the lower shell to the higher shell. Then here shows the always the movement from the lower kinetic energy shell to the higher kinetic energy shell depends on the frequency of the light they emit, because you know that the change to increase or decrease the kinetic energy by the law of conservation of energy, they have to have some external energy source to change their ground steady state. So we have also found out the angular momentum. So these are my postulates. So result of the Bohr's theory. See, Bohr ने काय दाखवलं जे Rutherford नाही दाखवू शकला. Rutherford cannot explain the stability of the atom, how the negatively charged electrons which are placed outside the nucleus, and even though the two opposite charges are there, the negative charge is outside, the positive charge is inside. How? Because of the two charges, they are not falling in each other, because the electrons are moving with their own energy, which prevents them from falling. That's the outcome result of the Bohr's theory. So बोरच्या ह्याच्यातनं मला काय कळतं की इलेक्ट्रॉन्सची एनर्जी स्टेट कळते, त्यांचं they are present in the extra nuclear region. That's the first result of the Bohr's theory, that we get electrons are present outside the nucleus and still they are the stable one. Secondly, त्याला तरी नावं दिली, N1, N, the shells ना नावं दिली की like first shell, second shell. मग त्याच्या शेलच्या size, we also find out the size, radii, because it's a circle, atom is a circle. So मला radii मिळालं. आणि तो जो तिसरा विचारलेला आहेस ना, which is the most important application of the Bohr's theory, that it explains you the energy associated. म्हणजे बोहरनी नुसतंच तो इलेक्ट्रॉन बाहेर आहे असं नाही दाखवलं एक्स्ट्रा न्यूक्लियर रिजन मध्ये, त्यांनी फक्त डिस्टन्स फ्रॉम द न्यूक्लियस नाही दाखवलं, तर त्या रिस्पेक्टिव्ह इलेक्ट्रॉनची जी एनर्जी रिलेटेड असते ना, तेही बोरने एक्सप्लेन केलं. आता त्यांनी एक मॅथमॅटिकल एक्सप्रेशन एक केलं की ज्या मॅथमॅटिकल एक्सप्रेशन मधनं we can आराम से find out the energy of that electron which is present. So ते expression आहे ना, that is E1, which is RH, where it is a Rydberg's constant. आता Rydberg ने जी काढली आहे ना, ती Rydberg ची सीरी त्या 5 emission spectrum वरनं ती Rydberg ची व्हॅल्यू आहे 109.677, that is per centimeter. There is a Rydberg's constant in the bracket 1 upon n square. So what is the n? N is the number of shell. सो मला थोडक्यामध्ये एखाद्या इलेक्ट्रॉनची शेल नंबर मिळाली, तर मी या इक्वेशन मध्ये टाकलं, विच इज माय 4.6 इक्वेशन. सो त्या इक्वेशन मध्ये टाकलं तर मला त्या इलेक्ट्रॉनची एनर्जी आरामात फाइंड आउट करता येते. सो त्यांनी दिलेली आहे बघ, फॉर इफ द n इज इक्वल टू 1, when the electron number is, you can say n is equal to 1, it's 2.18. ही हायड्रोजनची आहे, कळलं? जर n is equal to 2, सो त्यांनी त्या फॉर्म्युला मध्ये टाकून, सी व्हॉट इज या सी च जे बेसिकली ऍप्लिकेशन काय आहे की या सी पॉस्ट्युलेटमुळे मला नुसतंच तो इलेक्ट्रॉन मला रेडिआय कळत नाहीये, तर त्याची एनर्जी पण कळते, बिकॉज दॅट्स अ मेन फाइंडिंग ऑफ द बोर्ड असोसिएटेड विथ द कायनेटिक एनर्जी ऑफ दॅट इलेक्ट्रॉन. सो फ्रॉम दॅट n number, by using this equation of 4.6, we can आराम से calculate the energy associated with that electrons in joules. That's the only finding. So बोरचे हेच आहेत की बोरने काय सांगितलं की बाहेर असतो, डिस्टन्स फ्रॉम द न्यूक्लियस दाखवलं आणि एनर्जी असोसिएटेड दाखवली. फक्त त्यांनी त्याच इलेक्ट्रॉन्सची एनर्जी असोसिएटेड दाखवली जो इट इज ऍप्लिकेबल टू हायड्रोजन और हायड्रोजन लाईक स्पीसीज हॅव्हिंग ओनली 1 इलेक्ट्रॉन. हाच फक्त. पण हे टू सम एक्सटेंट बरोबर होते. आणि मग पुढे अनसर्टनिटी प्रिन्सिपल आणि मग पुढे त्याच्यावरून सगळ्या पुढे जर मग क्वांटम मेकॅनिक्स झालं. बट द कन्सिडरेशन सगळं थिंकिंग होतं ते बोरच्या मॉडेल नुसार पुढे गेलं. करेक्ट? सो या, सो सेशन fine. So see you on Saturday. I'll send you paper on redox reaction in the like second half मध्ये मी पेपर सेंड करेन तुम्हाला. आपण सॅटर्डेला आपला रेग्युलर क्लास असेल. ओके, या चलो देन, बाय बाय, गुड डे.